Okay, this is the regular meeting of the governing body of the Borough of Bloomingdale, New Jersey, Tuesday, October 19, 2021 at 7 p.m. Call the meeting to order by start with the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Acting Mayor D'Amato.
Here.
Councilman Della Ripa.
Here.
Graziano.
Here.
Hudson. Present. Councilman Julian will be just a few minutes late, and Councilman Yazzie is excused this evening.
Also, we have our municipal clerk, Brianna Smith, business administrator, Michael Sondermeyer, and borough attorney, Dawn Sullivan. This is a meeting called to pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. Adequate notice of this meeting was advertised in the Herald News on April 1st, 2021. Copies were provided to the local news media and posted continuously in the municipal building. A copy of this notice is available to the public and is on file in the office of our municipal clerk. Per state fire code, I am required to acknowledge that there are two emergency exits in this council chambers, the main entrance which you enter through, and a secondary exit to the left of where I am seated. If there is an emergency, walk orderly to the exits and exit through the door, down the stairs, and out the building. If there's any questions, please raise your hand. Okay. We have no non-agenda items tonight, so I'd like to have a motion to open up early public comment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to speak, please come up and raise your name and your address.
They're at the bottom of the stairs.
You could have saw a municipal clerk upstairs. It says here. Okay. Okay, seeing no one, motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Reports, please. Anybody? Reports of committee?
I don't think so.
No? John, good?
No, don't think I have anything this time.
Rich? Mike?
I do. Yeah, but
Okay.
do it like homes.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right, first things, about a week or so ago, we had an issue at Walter Bergen School. Somebody was out there doing donuts on the field with the vehicle. So we found out who it was. We got a quote from an outside landscaper to fix the issue. Obviously, there's a cost involved with that. To keep this out of the courts, I offered the person to go ahead and pay the not a fine, but to pay the bill for the landscaper. They agreed to do that. They can't pay it in one lump sum, so I have the attorney working right now on putting an agreement together for a payment plan. Majority paid up front, and then they'll do like a monthly payment for the next 4 or 5 months until it's paid in full. I just want the council to be aware that we did that. Had a meeting and put together a staffing and a requisition for hiring a court certified clerk. Had a couple of resumes and stuff came in today, so that's processes in the works and getting going. As I get those resumes in, I'll log them in and then forward them over to the judge, Dana, to look at, and then we'll start to look at the candidates and who we want to interview. I imagine we'll put together some type of a panel, maybe GovOps, a couple people from GovOps maybe will sit in and interview, and then have Dana make really the final decision on what he wants to do, and then hopefully the council blesses his decision at that point. I have a meeting tomorrow or Thursday with the construction department to talk about staffing, what their requirements are now that Maureen has put in her notice to leave at the end of the year. So we'll discuss that and get back to the council at the next meeting on what it is they're looking to do. We also had myself and Michael Yazdi and Chris Walthour had a demonstration yesterday with a software that allows to do permitting without paperless permitting, we'll call it. So we went down there and talked to the two clerks down there, the two construction officials down there, and there's a lot of paper passes back and forth from inspectors to them, from them, and it's just a lot of data entry. And this just kind of happened to hit my desk a couple days ago, so we decided to listen in on this demo. It seems like it might be a nice route to go. I don't know the cost yet, but it's in the beginning stages of it. It just lets you know that that's one of the ways we want to get and move Bloomingdale forward into the next century is trying to get a little less paperwork and more of the technology side of things. So we'll look at this software, and then we'll go out and see if there's anybody else that offers the same type of software out there. DPW, I had a meeting with the, actually I'll pass these out. Had a meeting with the DPW. They each get one package. So I had a meeting with Frank and Al, and finally with the finance department to talk about staffing. I have another one. You want it, Tom?
No, that's fine. I'm good.
To talk about staffing for 2022, because we need to start that ball rolling now, so we can hire up on January 1st, if at all possible, to replace what we've lost this year. And we can't do it sooner because we just don't have the money in the budget to do it. So what I had here was, I had the assistant supervisor put together this spreadsheet for us with myself, just to show what it is we're looking to do and what the needs are that we feel the town needs to move forward for 2022. So the numbers on the left there, I took out all the names, but those are all the positions we had in 2021. If nothing would have changed, if we didn't bring those two guys in at the end, if everything stayed status quo with Rocco here and everything, in 2021 we spent 1.5 million, just 1.55. In 2022, if nothing happened again, that would have been almost 1.6. What we're looking to do now is, we've already brought in a couple of these laborers. We're looking to add 4 for the 3 we just lost, which is Roy, Steve, and Al Allegrino. So we're looking to get 4 for 3 on those, and if you look at the number on the bottom, on the right there, you can see it's actually a savings of about $36,000 to do that. And we feel that that puts us in a good place. Along with that, we talked about doing a couple promotions because the people you lost had other positions in the blue collar contract. One was a driver, the other one was equipment operator. So we're looking to move 2 guys up into those 2 positions, so we can maintain our 3 drivers and get an equipment operator. And on top of that, as a collective group again, we thought we'd look to get a second equipment operator if the mayor and council allow us to do that. So it allows us to have a backup. It's not a big, to go from the labor of the guys at the level they're at right now that would be qualified to move up to this equipment. It's only about a $2,000 jump to go up to equipment operator because they're at the top tiers of their steps. And it just, again, it would allow us to have a backup if for some reason something's going on, the person can't bring in for an water main break, or if they're digging curb boxes and something else happens, we need somebody else to drive another piece of equipment, or somebody's got to drive the sweeper. It allows us to have 2 people that we can pull from to maintain that. So all I'm looking for, asking tonight is, we need to get this paperwork process started because we only have 2 meetings left before January 1st. So if we get this paper process started, we get the jobs posted, and we start interviewing, we can start maybe next meeting, come back and make a recommendation to the council that we narrowed it down to whatever 4 or 5 people. We'd like to make an offer to such and such, and then at the December meeting, we can then ask you guys for a resolution to accept that hire of those people for January 1st start date. I can get together with the Gov Ops Committee after this, during this week, if you have other questions, or if any council people have questions they want to ask me between now and we start this process, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Are we looking to go right away full-time, or are we going to follow the process we did last time with part-time and then?
We're looking, the way we have this, we set it up here, we're looking to go full-time because we have the year of probation period. And our fear is, we got lucky. I shouldn't say lucky. We had 2 great candidates we had last time from a pool of about 6, and 2 of those 6 never showed up for an interview. So we really had a pool of 4, and we got 2 really good guys that are with us right now. We're hoping we get a better turnout now that we're looking for 4 laborers, So we're not just going to post it on the webpage, we're going to post it in the papers, correct, Assistant? To hopefully get a bigger pool of players to choose from. And we get them in, we get them up and running. We have a year on probationary status to fire pretty much at will if they don't work out. And that's the way we would handle it with the staff that's there, the management staff, that is.
Correct. We're hoping that if we put it out as a full-time position, it'll open up a little bit more. Maybe we'll get some candidates that already have a CDL, we don't have to send them for a CDL, or they'll already be good. As a part-time position or a seasonal position, it's kind of hard for a person to quit their job or move on from a full-time job and to come over to a position that ultimately may not be there.
Any questions?
So you're looking to hire 4 new full-time?
4 new full-time laborers for the 3 full-time we just lost.
Okay.
The savings of the almost $36,000, is that included in the cost if we promote?
Yep.
Or is that less than that if we promote? That's
Nope.
where we are, if we're
That's-
full staff, where we want to be for your recommendation.
I use a couple of people, I can't mention names, but I moved some people into those that are on the higher end, so it's worst case. This is worst case.
Okay.
You mentioned the equipment operator, it's a backup. What do they do when they're not actually operating equipment?
They're laborers.
Okay. So really
Yep.
what the person would be doing now,
The last one we had, he was in the sweeper 24/7 from April to November, unless he was on a vacation. And he came in and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Assistant, but he did the loading of the salt for the trucks in the winter, and then he went out and plowed. Up here, he did the parking lots and stuff like that with the backhoe.
Just so you know, when we do the sweeping in those months, there is other work going on, whether water needs somebody to use the excavator to dig, or we have to take the backhoe and go plant a bush, or whatever we need it for. So you have that opportunity for somebody else that would be a machine operator to justify it.
right,
Because 5 days a week, the other operator is in a sweeper
right,
with the shared services we have there.
got it.
So it's definitely justifiable to have a second one. And if he's sick, we have somebody to throw in the sweeper so we keep up with our agreement with the shared services and take care of our town too. Okay?
The only other caveat I throw on the bottom left, you'll see is we put down a part-time assistant clerical position. That's part of the conversation I'm going to have this week with construction. If they only need a part-timer, then maybe we can bring a full-timer in and it's shared between the 2 departments, being that they're sitting down there almost in the same parking lot. So we're not there yet, but something we want to talk about to see where we're going.
So in discussion.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
The second page that I sent you, this was again another software update we're looking to do for 2022. This is a DPW software. Frank and I and Al and actually the mayor also and Billy Morris looked at 2 different demos. 2 companies offer the same type of a service. This is a web-based. It allows you to create work orders and then follow it through without the pushing of paper like we do currently today. It also allows you as counselor or as public to go in and put a work order in. If you see something's wrong with the garden, you can plug in and it creates the work order. And then the supervisor would then, unless it automatically set up to go to somebody, the supervisor could then look and see if it's a valid work order or not and assign it to the proper people. I don't know if you want to speak about it. I just raved about it. I thought it was the way we need to go
We
for
looked at 2 programs.
2 different ones.
Okay, basically, it'll make us more efficient dollar-wise. The mechanics could be, the work being done, they would all kind of be in the same program. If somebody's out working on a water main break, you can say, okay, water main break, this is what's going on. We can calculate hours being worked so we know where we're spending our money. If it's a snow detail, we have that opportunity. We can see it's a snowstorm and we have 5 guys, 1 guy doing salt, doing whatever. We can plug in that work order and we'll know how efficient we are running financially and the productivity-wise.
Preventive maintenance.
Preventive maintenance on whatever we do.
On everything.
Yeah.
it allows us to, down the future, they come in looking for more help, we can go back to the software and say, okay, we did whatever, 4,000 work orders last year, you're 1,800 this year. Explain to me why we need another 2 guys or 1 guy when we did more work last year. It'll track your time and everything, not just the number of work orders. So I think it's a great tool. It's what I think this council has looked for with all departments, which route we want to go with all departments is less paper, more efficiency, more technology that we have, utilize it and move this borough, like I said, forward.
And how many did you look at?
2.
2 different softwares, 2 different companies that presented to us.
And how much are they?
The one is 10 grand roughly a year, and the other one was 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Which is the one you like?
We're
Wait, I shouldn't even ask that question. That's kind of a dumb question to ask. Because I know you, it'll definitely be the more expensive one.
you're wrong.
No, it actually,
The opposite.
it's the opposite.
I
All of a sudden,
like-
he became like, he's,
So, they're both really good companies, but actually the cheaper one is actually more based on like public works. They're more oriented, it's kind of user-friendly. Both myself and Billy went back and forth on it, and we both felt it was way more user-friendly for the membership than the other one. The other one had a lot more options, but for what we're initially what we're looking for it to do is obviously to maintain it and you know, pretty much show us where the guys are working, and obviously instead of doing paperwork on a regular basis to have to give everybody orders or emails, the way we do it now, it would allow us to right on the spot put in a work order and then delegate it to each individual, and it can be it's an app on the phone, so most of these guys can just get right onto their phone and do the work order.
They can also pre-program, like shredding. You can say, okay, October 1st, you need to put up the sign for banner. It's got to go up for shredding. So it'll automatically click on somebody's work order for that day. Okay, get the banner up. So there's no more questions of.
And
When, where, when, huh?
is it based on how many users?
Nope.
And then are we going to have other people integrated into this? So like say Terry gets a request to do something, she'll have access to this as well for a
Yes.
work order?
But it's right exactly. So if somebody called up and said they need a white metal picked up,
Yeah.
instead of her writing it on a piece of paper or emailing it to Al or doing something, now she just goes in, plugs it in, and automatically is scheduled for whatever day to whatever that person is who's going to pick up that white metal, and they get
And
the
then when the
contact.
task is completed,
It gets checked off by that person.
Done.
That is done. And if it's a project, you can take photos of it, so everybody sees the final before or after, whatever the case may be. It's,
if somebody turns in a pothole and it gets scheduled to be done tomorrow, picture happens, boom, you go in there, you see it, pothole's done.
so what does this require of each employee that will be using this? Because it's mostly going to be DPW guys. So what is this, do they have to download this on their phone? Are we going to have to get,
Well, we probably have to get, so some of the membership already have phones that are paid for by the borough.
Right.
Which are obviously all the water department guys, all the mechanics, and then our buildings and grounds, members like that, that are kind of have to make phone calls on a regular basis to contractors or whatever. So they'll be able to be downloaded right on their smartphones and they'll be able to use it right there. There are a couple members that don't have work phones. We end up just buying a couple of tablets, and when they go out to do a job, they would just grab a tablet out of either one of the offices or a designated area that we.
are they allowed to use their personal phone?
They could if they really wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it only because then it's over. Anybody can over their phone. So it'd be better to have tablets set up for that they could use, and it's only borough related.
So our cost is not really going to be that. The initial cost will be a bit more.
A little bit.
it could be a little more.
The lower end was, I think, like 6,500 for everything. For the cheaper one, the more expensive one, I think, was somewhere around $10,000. So the savings right there, it'll probably only cost us a couple $1,000 just to buy a couple tablets. And even with that, we already have a couple tablets at the water department and DPW that we're already using.
And you have some old tablets as well.
Correct. So the cost for setup would be minimal, other than the software.
Right. And the software is per year?
It's a four-year program, I think.
Well, there's two, you can buy it outright, but he wouldn't recommend doing that because they do upgrades every year, whatever the case may be. So it's just an
Absolutely.
annual,
Yeah.
it's an annual subscription. You just budget it in, annual line, whatever, $6,500 a year for the software.
Okay.
You know, I get that this is a workflow tracking system, and I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even to get into the future, it's to get, 10 or 15 years into the past.
Yeah.
But I have a question more so what we're trying to do in the building department. Are there any solutions that incorporate all this together? Like, I understand that's not so much workflow, but
I was hoping that when I got that demo the other day that it would be that. It didn't. I don't know if it's out there. I can research that and see.
Totally different paperwork.
It is. And I saw they had on the demo, they had things about DPWs, but had nothing to do with what we're doing on there. It was something totally different. It all had to do with construction and permits and stuff like that.
And I think construction department, they have to upload stuff to the state and all, right? So it's a totally different animal.
And when I'm being told that eventually the state is looking to make everybody go on the construction side to a format like this.
Paperless permit.
Paperless, yeah, and something that they can get, people can sit home and get access and pay and print out their, and what he showed us was unbelievable software. I imagine it takes quite a bit. They said it doesn't take a lot to set up, but it'd be on them to do that. But it's just a ton of information in there with it. I mean, it was great even for like the wetlands and historical stuff like that. You hit a button and it shows everything that has to go on with that site. What they have, so it helps out a lot where Tom Barati wouldn't be involved as much because it's all just input in. And we have a lot of that in another system we have going already. So it's kind of incorporating the GIS that we have from DMC right now, which is the survey stuff. It all gets downloaded into this one software really for that department.
okay.
And that comes from the state. The state's asking us to do that. This is coming from, and I set up a demo for you if anybody wants to see it also with the company, just to get an idea of what it's all about. They'd be willing to do that as well.
Dawn just told me Washington Township is doing it, so that might be
Yeah,
a
they've already
that might be a
got it
resource to have a
implemented
conversation
and
with
they're-
them.
That might, because this company was up in, they're based out of Boston. I mean, they had a lot of stuff. They were very smart.
This is the building department, this is the building.
Yeah, this is the
department.
permitting stuff.
Yeah, it's
the
the permanent one, yep.
paperless, yeah.
Same thing.
But from everything they've said, it's really beneficial, so I can get you in touch with their,
Yeah, and the one that Frank was talking about, PubWorks, the cheaper the two, the state county's using that right now. And the other one, I know West Milford is using it, and different things in Patterson, not the Patterson Borough, but like the school system and some other things inside Patterson, we're using this other software.
Mark, is there any interface between the systems? Like if a work order gets opened and it's like, oh, something on a county road, can we just divert it to?
Send it to the county.
System or something like that?
That I didn't ask, that. I don't know that answer to that one. That's a good question, we could ask that too.
That makes sense,
not yet.
so probably no. Anything else?
I know tomorrow we're going, I'm sorry,
Actually, I was just going to ask Dawn, is that Washington Township, Morris County?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Because that's where Mansfield does their construction.
the Natalie Court, we're going tomorrow. We have a company coming tomorrow to
Jacket?
give us a quote on the, what it's gonna cost to put some type of path
Who are you
through.
with? Who's going with?
That one's to it tomorrow.
Who's doing it? I also have Jimmy Becker, DMK out of Plumpton Lakes, and what's the other landscaper that, Foxy?
Foxy.
Yeah. And actually, Drew sent me a picture of what I would like to do with it's the pavers, the blocks that the grass comes through and it looks like grass.
Avalon Bay.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I'm thinking of. It was perfect what he sent me to show.
I'm sorry?
Can you send it to me?
Yeah, sure. It was
Alright.
actually from Garrett
Yeah.
Moen. I'll send it to
Yeah,
you.
we're-
Okay.
Avalon Bay
isn't-
currently uses it for the emergency roadway in
Right.
between the healthcare center and Avalon.
In Avalon Bay.
Now, isn't there, from what I understand, the original path, what is the original path made out of?
White stones, like Pebble.
It's
Pebble
just
Beach.
pebble stones?
Yep.
Yeah.
And how, because that's much wider.
That's not the path for that.
No,
That's the path, so.
Right, you get
next-
two different-
Right next to that road is our pump station for Natalie Court, and that's the actual driveway to Natalie Court pump station.
That's done with pavers. That's not the same path. It's just to the right of that is where the road will go through.
Right, but the original path that actually goes through,
There's a 4-foot wide path made of white stone, like.
White stone?
Peat, yeah.
but it
Pea
was,
gravel.
at one point, was significantly wider.
I don't know.
No, Mike said
Okay.
it was significantly wider. I'm just curious if there was something underneath that originally.
That we won't know until we
Look at
get
it.
to that point. The other thing is, Rich also sent me something that, and the same thing, but it's hard plastic, I guess?
Yes, it's
right?
plastic.
But it's made to take the weight of trucks, which he sent me, I'll forward that address to you guys too, so you have that too.
What?
You send it to me?
I have it, I'll send it to you, I have
Okay.
it, I'll send it to you, yeah.
If you want to see them, the pallets are sitting in my parking spot right now. I'm not sure when they'll be installed, so.
Okay.
'Cause just for disclosure, we're getting that done on my driveway right now, but the interesting part about that is they're quote unquote 100% permeable,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
as opposed to, any bricks or something like that. You know, in that case, probably like 50% permeable or something like that. But, and of course, that allows grass to go through it all the way.
Right.
So it's much less noticeable, but I can't speak to how well it works, obviously, if you're still sitting in pallets.
Right.
Okay.
In the driveway.
All right, we should go up and see what it looks like,
Yeah.
the feel of it, so.
And then the very last thing, I know I've been getting a lot of emails from Councilman Graziano about the Walter Bergen light. They went up there today, something's wrong with the breaker. Every time they switched it on, it would snap back off. So they're coming back out Friday, I believe, to see if they can switch out the breaker. If that's not it, then look at the light itself, see what's going on. But in the meantime, if I can get a contact for soccer, like when they play at night, we have tower lights that we can set up that just turn a key to turn it on, and it gives them light. We can put it in the same location that telephone pole is until we get this thing rectified. If you want to let me know.
Is it just the one pole?
It's just the one
The same
pole,
one
that's-
right by the fire hydrant?
It's in the
Right after
cul-de-sac to the
basketball
right.
courts?
No.
No, cul-de-sac.
So it's a different pole in the back now?
Yeah, it's on the soccer field. As you're looking at the cul-de-sac from Walter Bergen, the first pole on the right-hand side.
Okay,
It's on the big field to the right, so it's out pretty much at home field.
okay. All right.
So we're on it, just so you know.
I know, thank you.
Just if you have the soccer guy's name or a number I can get, I'll ask him what the schedules are, and we'll have the lights up there, and they can turn them on, or whatever the case. We'll get somebody to turn them on. and come
Hopefully
in and
they'll
do it.
fix it.
Hopefully they can just
They
fix it,
can just
exactly.
fix it.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
It sounds like a water
Yeah,
issue.
sure, can do.
Mike, did they ever fix, I assume they fixed all the ones that we noticed at July 4th?
Yeah, yep, yeah, all around the tennis courts and stuff like that, yep.
Okay.
I never bothered to look at it.
That's it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Bree, you have anything?
Just that there is early voting. If anyone was interested, you can vote in, Bloomingdale's not an early voting site, but there are locations close by, the Wanacue College, West Milford Township, the Wayne Library. And that's pretty much it. We have new voting machines this year. Terry actually already did the training last week. I will go next week for training, because it's new for the voters, but it's new for everyone. So county's working really hard to train all the poll workers, and then all of the clerks and our staff, so that we're all ready to go for election day and also for early voting. So,
And
that's
there's
it.
there's a video about that on the website and I think on Facebook as well.
Yes, we did post that. I try to share as much of the new election information that I can. If you have questions, or if anybody did, just reach out, call. We will help you the best that we can.
They were also at Pride Day demonstrating for everybody as well.
Yes, the new machine.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, one more thing.
Not till next meeting.
I just looked down, I saw my friend Mr. Graff out there. The ordinance review submitted in an ordinance for solid waste. I have a meeting tomorrow with Councilman Yazdi to go through that, to see what he thinks about it. And then after that meeting, if he's on board, I'll forward it out to the entire council to start looking at. There's some major changes we're looking to do with that ordinance. We're looking to hopefully institute it by January 1st, so that means we'd have to introduce next meeting in November and then adopt in December in order to do that, because you can't go, I'm being told by our clerk, you can't introduce one year and adopt the following year, so it has to be done in the same year. So we're hoping to get it introduced in November, adopt in December, and then move on January 1st, so.
Well, Mike, it's just an introduction. Could we do it on November 1st one, or is that too soon?
I think we're too soon for, I think we all need to digest it a little bit.
To make sure we're all on the same page.
Okay. All right.
Oh, John, are they doing just public events? Are they doing that Halloween thing? It's on our public event calendar. Mike?
Not a dance. The dance has been canceled because we just can't, we didn't feel it'd be the last Drug Alliance meeting, and we think we want to get everybody together with
I agree.
stuff going on still. So
Okay.
we decided the last meeting we were gonna
So
not
that's-
have that.
Bree, can we just put that out there, that's somehow or another, get that out?
But they are doing a trunk or treat or something like that?
I was
think
going
so.
to mention that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're doing, well, a couple of things that are going on. This Friday, 2:30 at the Walter T. Bergen School is they're opening up their 50-year time capsule, and then they're going to bury the new time capsule. We are all invited to attend. For me, it's kind of an honor because I'm the graduating class in 1972, so, which is pretty interesting. I was the first graduating class there, and there is some people coming from my class, what I understand. Jimmy Jacobs, Mrs. Jacobs' husband, was in our class, so they'll be there. So it should be a nice event at the school on Friday. The other thing that's happening is we're going to overlay Knowles Road and Reeves Ave, Nancy Dale Lane. We thought it'd be a great tribute to Nancy for all the time she spent in the borough, all the work that she's accomplished here, not only with election, but walking around town as the lady in the hat, picking up garbage, and just people recognizing her. So we received several emails after our when we recognized her after her passing here, that it'd be nice to do something, so we're going to overlay Knowles Road and Reeves Ave, Nancy Dale Lane. Our family has been notified, and that will be on November 21st. I don't think we have a time for that yet, right?
No, we didn't pick a
Right?
time yet.
That'll come out. We'll put that on social media and all that stuff too, that when the times happen for that, so that's a nice thing. The school on the 24th, October 24th, is doing the trunk or treat, is that what
yeah,
it's called? Where everybody parks in the parking lot and little kids, all right? I know the fire department's sending up the cheese car full of candy. Our chief told us that on our last meeting, so it'll be a nice thing for the kids to have some type of trick-or-treat experience up at the school, so that's a nice thing. Ongoing projects is Hamilton Street. If anybody's driven past there, it's coming out nice. It's still a war zone in the center of the street, but the one side, all the curbing and sidewalks are done. Just jumped on the other side between Union and Wallace. They're working on that. I think the curb is done on one side. The project on Union Ave, I think, will be completed almost by Friday, if not early next week. So those sidewalks from Union to Rafkin Road, that project will be completed. It'll be all new. The company doing that, they're really moving pretty quick, and they're restoring as they go. So you'll see topsoil seed and all that stuff, so you'll see that turn into to be really nice when they leave. So that'll be done. The bids came in for Andrew's Place at our November 19th meeting. I think we're going to award that. Okay.
November 1st.
November 1st, that's our early meeting, so that'll be simple to do. And we'll announce then who have it, but the price came in really good, so that's a plus for the borough. That's pretty much all I have. Anybody have anything for me? Okay, good. All right, before we go on, you guys want to speak? Come on. All right. This is a good thing.
Hi, how are you? Okay, all right. Hi. We don't need to introduce ourselves. I think we all.
But for the record, you have.
We are.
But for the record, you have. For the record.
Yes. Linda Bennett, Thomas Govic.
Address? 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 Address?
148 Freeland Avenue,
Okay,
Bloomingdale.
12 Sophia Street.
okay. The floor is yours.
We just happened to pay a visit to the Butler Council meeting to explain what we're about to explain to all of you. You know what, I think, what this is about. But, so, last year, because of the cancellation of the toy train, a resident from Butler, Paul Basanti, approached us about putting together a collaborative effort to provide toys for the communities, for our needy families and children. And we first approached John, and he not only gave me the key to the rec center, but he also said, run with it. And we did, it was a huge success with many private and business donations. And although there were many drop-offs, we used the Bloomingdale Rec Center as Toy Central. As you would recall, we reached out to the local churches and the food pantries to have them provide us with, not names, of course, but ages of children and what they would like for Christmas. It was our goal to keep the confidentiality going. And as I explained to the Council of Butler, one example of how restrictive we were with regard to confidentiality was one woman. We had on our website, we had a confidential form that you could nominate either a family in need or you could nominate your own family. And we did receive a lot of people through that confidentiality site. But I had one woman who reached out to me personally to sign up with her family, and she said, oh, by the way, did my neighbor sign up because they could really use some help? And I said, well, if your neighbor called me and asked me if you had signed up, would you like me to tell her that you did? So understand that we don't say a word to anybody about who signs up or what was going on. The bottom line, 200 families in our two communities, 311 children, and believe it or not, in total, 2,380 brand new gifts, $3,000 in gift cards. Our libraries, both the library in Butler and Bloomingdale, were very, very instrumental in gathering the wrapping paper, the ribbons, the scissors, because, you know, our first knee-jerk reaction was, let's wrap all the presents, let's get the Boy Scouts involved, let's get the Girl Scouts involved and wrap all the presents. And Joe Burrell said to me, Linda, I'm going to tell you from experience, don't wrap them, because if you send the paper with the gifts, you involve the parents. They become so involved in wrapping the presents, knowing what the presents are, it becomes a family event. And so we had so many people dropping off wrapping paper and bows that it was just unbelievable. So at the end of the toy drive, we were able to give about 7 presents per child. We had over 200 stockings that were donated, and we had enough items to put in the stockings, so the kids really 7+ presents, a full stocking with goodies, and the older kids with their gift cards. Everybody, it was a win-win for everyone. We started on November 6th, and we ended December 18th. 6 weeks. It took us only 6 weeks to accomplish what we were thinking about doing. So the reason why Kim and I, we've been talking a lot about this and about some other things, and the reason why we wanted to come here, first of all, was to get your nod, because we don't want to do anything without the backing of the mayor and the council, and that's very important. I can tell you that Butler jumped right on board. It's only the beginning, and I would ask Kim to speak as to long range.
Sure, just a couple things to talk about. What Linda mentioned is, what we're looking for also is hopefully use of the rec center to store these gifts DPW did help at the very end as far as helping us clean up the incredible mess that all of this entailed. And Chief was great. I know that there were some additional drive-bys just to make sure that there was no issues at the rec center because all of this stuff was stored there. So we did have, help from the chief as well. What we're hoping to parlay this into is a Butler Bloomingdale community organization where we are specifically looking to help families in our two towns, our two communities, which makes sense. Our kids go to school together, they play sports together. Because we worked with the churches there last year and we worked with their food pantries, it only makes sense that we know that we have families that are in need in this area. So what we're hoping to do is use this as a launch for that, since last year was so successful, and then hopefully have 2 or 3 other events throughout the year. Maybe where we're focusing on a specific family, if there's, a family lost someone in their family and they're struggling financially, something that we can do to keep it home.
We're not going to start out big, because I think we've learned from past experiences that, if you look so far ahead, you lose sight of what you're trying to do. And I will say that, it takes a village, and this time it's taken 2 villages to put this together, because it's very important. And you remember when we did the frontline essential worker in your garage. We started out with hospital people, with the DPW, with the police department, and then we expanded because we were finding out that there were more and more families that were in need of a hot meal. And the restaurants jumped on board with that, and it just made sense that the toy drive is a wonderful, wonderful thing. It warms my heart. It makes every day so much better knowing that we're bringing smiles to kids. And yet,
There's a lot of these.
there are, and we are, the pandemic is not over. There are still families out in our community struggling, and we'll start small. We'll start very small.
No, I'd say that, as you know, when this bizarre epiphany came to me, and I was like, let's do this, let's support all of our frontline workers, I automatically emailed John. John, I have this idea, and of course his immediate response was, run with it, you need money, what do you need, go. And it just grew into this huge thing where, we were helping families, and we were supporting the teachers, and then we were supporting, hospitals, and it just became this great thing. So we're looking to take those things that we've learned from doing the toy drive and from doing frontline essential workers and put it together and see what we can do to help out the community. So we're looking, one, for your blessing, hopefully support if we need to use the rec center and stuff like that. Any ideas you have? I know when we went to Butler before, they said, oh, we'll put you in touch with, they said, like their PBA, because they raise money and they usually do donations for toys. So anything that you guys can think of that could help us move in that direction would be great.
And they also had a suggestion of putting a Dropbox in their municipal building, and so maybe we could do something similar. But we did have a lot of drop sites throughout. A lot of AJ's Pizza, Danny's Pizza. A lot of places have boxes. The Mattress Place with the ability to go in and just throw a present in there, and it was great. But we've learned a lot from last year. We had just so many toys. You can't even imagine what 2,000 toys look like in one room. So the other thing is, Mr. Mayor, we would really appreciate the fact if you would provide us with a key for the rec center down the road. That's all right, Mike and John? Because I think last year we used the Butler Museum, and the answer was we really would rather you not. They may, if we ask, be a drop site 1 day a week, but there's no storage there.
We will make sure the rec center is available. Yeah. If you need more space than that, we'll figure it out. Right? And I know we used to put a Dropbox up by Terry's office up here, if I remember correctly, right? For a drop-off spot when, I think from the PBA did it. No? Toys for Tots. Yeah. So we will do that here too. Yeah.
Ultimately, we're just looking for your support so that we can say with the support of the Butler and the council.
I think we're all 100% on board.
Absolutely.
Right?
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks
Whatever you
so
need.
much.
Thank you. Very good. Okay. Okay, resolution number 2021-10.20, consent agenda. Can I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, just before roll call, if you notice on here, there's a few more retirements. Congratulations to those people who have met that goal to retire. And also, we have Ethan, I don't know how to pronounce Ethan's last name, but he is leaving the fire department because I believe he moved. All right, but he was a young kid that was enthusiastic in the fire department, so we thank him for his service. And we have Michael coming on, which is nice. We have people still volunteering for our department. So can we have
Gretchen.
roll call, please?
Yeah, Gretchen Wally, too, was going to come on board as a rec commissioner to take Meg Gray's spot.
Yeah, if I
And
could
age.
say,
Oh, on the bottom down,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, she's a
Yeah.
former lake resident and also is the camp director for Glenmont Lake. I think she's going to be a terrific.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. Hey, Mike, I'd like to
Yeah.
recognize Meg.
Yep. we
She's
can do
really
that.
put a lot of time into the rec center, into the rec program.
Yep.
If we can kind of arrange that and bring her and her family in so we can recognize her for her dedication to recreation.
Okay.
Okay, roll call, please.
Tomato,
Yes.
Delariva,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Julian,
Yes.
Okay. Second final reading of public hearing ordinance number 24-2021, amending chapter 2-80 EDC banner fees. Public notice statement, please.
Yes, this ordinance was posted in the municipal building, published in the Herald News, and copies were made available to the public so that a motion may be made that it be read by title.
Okay, can I have a motion to read by title?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just for the record, there is one change in the second paragraph, just correctly identifying the Economic Development Commission. It's listed in there right now as Economic Development Committee. It should say Commission, so I will be making that change.
Okay.
And then we have a motion to read by title. So an ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale, County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 8, Policies and Procedures, Section 2-80, Fees Charged for Municipal Services of the Code of the Borough of Bloomingdale.
Okay, can I have a motion to open up public hearing?
So moved?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward. Seeing no one, motion to close.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? Motion for adoption.
So moved?
Roll call.
Delariva,
Yes.
Graziano,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Julian,
Yes.
Tomato,
Yes. Introduction of new business. Introduction of ordinance number 20,
That one's,
Sorry, Mr. Rand, this one, we don't need action on this as the ordinance hasn't been prepared yet.
okay, so we will table that.
Move on to the ordinance,
Okay.
resolution 2021-10-20.
Okay.
Point 30, please.
Okay, adoption of resolution number 2021-10, what number?
33.
33. Approving change order for Hamilton Street for Regal Utility. I believe we added, the change order is we added storm basins. We found some properties that the water was running into the street, and that would defeat the purpose of the drainage problem we're trying to fix down there. So we added an inlet, and I believe we added a couple valves, right? No?
One was an A, type A inlet we added.
Right.
And then the second one was the pharmacy. We thought it was
Oh,
hooked
the
up
inch
to
and
the
a half-
water on
the
Main
inch and a half
Street.
pipe.
It was actually hooked up, so we had to do an inch and a half tap and an inch and a half copper pipe to hook them up to this new system on Hamilton. And then TNT and the house next door to them, they came out and they were combined to one lateral going into the sewer.
North Jersey Transmission.
North Jersey
Okay.
Transmission.
Okay.
We had the water department come out, and they said it really should be two separate connections, so we did two separate connections, one from the house and one from the transmission place.
So they're separated now?
They're separated now, yep.
Okay. I thought I heard a valve was we were changing a valve and.
Not
you know
necessarily,
No?
just those
Okay.
three things.
Okay. All right. Have a motion to accept the change order?
So moved.
Okay, roll call, please.
Graziano?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Julian?
Yes.
D'Amato?
Yes.
Delariva?
Yes.
Okay. Adoption of resolution number 2021-1034, payment of the bills. Have a motion, please.
Second.
Roll call. Any discussion? Any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Hudson?
Yes.
Julian?
Yes.
D'Amato?
Yes, with the exception 01463.
Delariva?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Okay. Item D, adoption of resolution number 2021-1035, authorizing land survey by DMC for 188 Union Ave. You want to just explain that?
Yeah, that's, we met down at this, where the salt shed's gonna go in the DPW. So we met with the engineer, and the first steps are to get it surveyed, and then have soil testing done also, but we haven't, I guess that hasn't made this list yet. It'd be like about $3,000 to have the DMC come in and do the survey of the property to make sure we can get the building situated where we want it. And about $2,000 for the geotechnical firm to come in, but again, it's not on this list, so it'll be next meeting.
A quick question on the soil testing. Where will they test? The existing footprint of the shed?
We're gonna actually kind of move it a little bit to the right, so that's what we'll test.
Closer to the mulch.
To the mulch, exactly right. So, they'll dig down, and they'll go around that to see what's down there.
And are they looking for high levels of sodium or? a whole
Whatever
list of
they
things?
find, whatever is, to make sure that building we're gonna put on is gonna stand.
It's basically they can handle the load of the building,
Okay.
which I don't think up there will be an issue because the existing building's there.
It's been there for
Other than moving
35
it over.
years.
Yeah, it's been there
It's
for
all
like 35 years.
It's probably all stone there.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Motion on resolution number 34?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Oh.
Who made the who second?
I think Rich.
Rich?
He moved
Rich moved
it.
it. Who seconded it?
Second.
Graziano.
Thank you. Julian?
Yes.
D'Amato?
Yes.
Delariva?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Okay. Item E, adoption of resolution number 2021-10, number 36, purchase of water meters from Rio Supply from Morris County Co-op. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Okay.
This is just to replenish our stock.
Yes, and this is where that cost, right, came from for that service fees, that we're using that money to purchase meters, so it's,
Part of our, it was a 5-year plan, but now it's maybe a 7-year plan by that, because we lost a year with COVID. Couldn't get out and do replacements, but we're in the process of doing them now, so we're short meters, so we're looking to replenish.
but with the old meters, or the ones that we already used, when people were having problems, we were going in and using those, so now they're up to speed with all the new stuff. So we are gaining towards where we want to be.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a motion for adoption?
I have the motion, so I'll just do
Second?
roll call.
Roll call, thanks.
D'Amato?
Yes.
Delariva?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Julian?
Yes.
Okay. Have a motion to go to late public comment.
So moved.
Second.
Anybody wishing to speak of anything, please come forward, state your name and address. Seeing no one, motion to close.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We do have 2 matters in executive session, and there is a possibility of coming out and moving one of those issues. So there might be some business conducted after our executive session, so if anybody wants to stay. Okay? Motion for adjournment and to go into executive session.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Session. There's going to be no action taken with Mansfield tonight. All right, it will be done probably in our, probably not the 1st, the November 19th.
23rd.
Right.
Or-
19th is our next meeting in November?
Is it the 19th?
No, the first.
The first, no, the one after that.
23rd.
I thought it was the 23rd.
23rd, you're right.
Unless you guys want
Today's
to.
the
I thought you meant November.
Okay, just so you guys know that. We're gonna do a resolution, a motion to retain personal consultant from the Phoenix Group, not to exceed $2,500, to make personnel evaluation pending
Certification.
certification of funds. Can I have a motion on the floor for that? I need a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Delariva,
Yes?
Graziano,
Yeah.
Hudson,
Yes.
Julian,
Yes.
D'Amato.
Yes. Okay. We're good. Okay. Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys, for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for staying.
Thank you, guys.